Valentin-Bati. I'm a poet, just like the rest of you. It was really cool to hear everyone's work. Like, it's super cool. I'm always in my little like bubble, and I never get to see like beyond that. So the only things you need to know about these pieces is that every single title is called "This Is My Body, the Only Thing I Own" in its entirety, and just working through that. So when you hear that phrase again, you'll be like, "Oh, she done." Okay. This is my body, the only thing I own in its entirety. I announce my body as the only thing I own in its entirety, so I become real like love. How can I call my body love? There can be a thing unattached from itself, love not attached to whatever I call lungs. Nothing else to say for this dimpled skin of thigh, and when I sit like this is this, flesh as flesh. This is my body, the only thing I own in its entirety. I can hate I in its entirety, though my limbs will bring me to the end of the hall. My stomach will heave like a chest and hunger for shape. Is it not enough to have movement? I fucked up. All this time I've been saying own. I guess I just meant love. For instance, my body, the only thing I love in its entirety, but really I just meant you, and my body, a second love, or not quite. There's something about being my own music. Okay, this is a long one. Thank you. I know it gets a little, fair warning, it gets a little awkward to know where to clap because I just kind of go through them like a mantra because it's the same title. So don't feel bad. This is my body, the only thing I own in its entirety. I've spent over $200 or perhaps exactly that on vocal lessons. I'm also learning guitar and have had to say goodbye to having long, womanly nails on my left hand. I've only spent $110 or so on guitar lessons, but I've also only had 2 official guitar lessons and plan to have more. I still struggle through Ode to Joy, but at least my guitar instructor said I had the perfect fretting hands. We may all wish for long, womanly nails, a perfect voice that does not push out 2 voices, one strong voice and another sound, which is mainly too much air leaving my belly. I let out an incorrect pitch today, and my voice teacher made a buzzer sound to indicate it was wrong. And I didn't feel bad or self-conscious, but I wonder how much I'm learning. I feel lost in a lot of these lessons, trying to figure out the shape she's making, and today I felt out of breath a lot. An incorrect pitch, and today, breath leaving my belly was a buzzer sound so imperfect, I felt lost. I'm learning sound shapes very slowly, like some clumsy toddler trying to put the circle into the square, circle into the square. I went to grad school trying to escape the sort of capitalism that led me to seeing the same wall, having the same conversation of the weather, the day of the week, and payroll, and I wished to study poetry where everything was how I felt, how I saw, how I desired. How I saw and desired and felt, I wished to transform into poetry everything of myself, seeing the same beige wall of my third floor room in my first apartment in Chicago, where the sun came through in the morning and the sunset tinted the air orange. I felt the most in love during this time, which was only halfway the result of a romantic relationship, and mainly because all of the other platonic relationships sprawled with as many legs as a spider. So sprawled like a spider, my legs desired to be felt by the sun, and I wish my body tinted orange, like I had taken in so much light I was going to explode a sunset come morning through a familiar window. I wanted to feel like my old self, knees to chest, watching the smoke come off the chimney. I suppose this is why I tried singing the first time, having felt the written language had failed me, and I was trying to be salvaged by the roundness of sound, which we can all relate through a cry or moan or yelp. Thank you. I felt very proud of that one, mainly because I snuck in womanly nails in a poem. This is my body, the only thing I own its entirety. Consumption of shadow as the sun descends, arching above the lake or between some trees. My throat feels tight so suddenly when I sit at the round table with a drink in my hand, listening to a friend tell me another story about a man assaulting her. I think we are all genuinely unfunny, and we are seriously sad. Once again, the days are starting over, by which I mean it is August. Let us begin inching toward autumn. Let the leaves darken and all else shed. The body's concerto is lost. I wrote that last night after I had read that humans emit a glow, but we can't even see it. I think every bend in the body is a song, and if more people recognize this, kindness would be an altar. My day began with dark circles under my eyes. I keep staying up too late talking to my love on the phone. Now it's 4 p.m., and the light has moved from the kitchen to the hall. When Name is telling me about how the bad man fucks good, I think, how strange is it to be in the presence of someone not awake? Though there is a sense that all these stories are a form of abstraction, but the reality here is the physical bruise, which you show me where his hand squeezed your neck. I've been trying to point to it, but you haven't realized you're a person, so I can't get close to you. Smudged moon from the dirty window. There's a world out there, and I can see it repeating. Bird call, wind, rain. I wish I could tell you where I am, where I really am. I wish I could say I will arrive inside your pupil. But all of life is resisting my translation and my poetry. I can't seem to get out any of my true thoughts. Yes, it's true. Everyone wants to lay their head on another body's shoulder. Thank you. I think I only have 3 more. I don't know. It depends if I read this unhinged one for real. But that was the saddest of them. This is my body, the only thing I own in its entirety. This is my body, etc. Or to begin again, I am alone, though you are here moving your pen, though you are known to me like a constellation. Even our exhales are a magnitude of usual forms. You sit and move, I sit and move, shedding, seeking, cloud, life, landscape, touch. Or to begin again, the night ignites. I am an assemblage of old ruptures. I found myself yearning a location, comfort, a return. All the years of my life, I was trying to recover what had been lost, return to the first home, get back the rapture of first love, where there was no difference between breath or tongue or touch or feeling or sight or sweet grass. Or to begin again, I'm witnessing the beauty of your body moving downstream, pushing arm over head, pushing. We are strangers somehow. We are folded and polished. I want to forget all this violence. Everyone is so far away. So maybe all of us are cursed to be stained like berries. But the goal is to move past what's innate. I did see the house cat swat the blue jay from the sky. I tried to rescue it. Or to begin again, my name or body, my name being a part of a body I own, which also owns my name. Or to begin again, I am a small noun falling. How do I keep the same immediacy of my name with everyone I touch? I mean to say, I'm constrained by my intimate relationships. I mean this in a good way. The end. Thank you. Damn, I kind of have a lot of poems. I'm sorry, y'all. I'll read 2 more. I'll read 2 more. This is my body, the only thing I own in its entirety. When I die, there will be no brigade coming down the hall. I'm so lonely these days, I could slip out of my body like egg whites. Before everything became a monotony of fingered branches, foggy sky, I tried to make a new soup every week. Tomato, loaded baked potato, chicken noodle. I liked feeling the vegetables beneath my hands, cold and sometimes with roots so thin like a set of whiskers. Mainly that was the carrots, something to connect me back to a colorful earth. During Noah's spring break, we spent nearly every day trying to write a song. The final day, I wrote a song about Haiti, told the story about the goats' gray bloated bodies strung up by their hooves, upside down with eyes open, and they called my name. I saw the gravel road that led to the front gate of my mom's house in Port-au-Prince. I think we're conditioned to misery. That's why I have to try so hard to explain to my contracted teaching jobs why $20 an hour is not enough, or how more hours for pay is actually pretty bad. And I have to keep explaining why a poem without racism and sexism as a Black woman is one of the better gifts I can give to my art. I'm trying to find a way to live beyond all this, where the only reference to the totality of my life would be the grass under my toes as I found it, covered in dew every morning after the nightly rains, when I stepped outside of the duplex we lived in most of my childhood in Florida. So once I placed some hydrangeas in a bucket filled with warm water and watched the shriveled petals turn full and soft. Thank you. And this is my last one, which is a happy one, because I'm a happy girl, in spite of it all. This is my body, the only thing I own in its entirety. X wanted to meet, and then we didn't, and I didn't feel bad, or that I had missed out on something, and then I started playing the blues with Noah. I was going from 2 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1 on the guitar, but started going too fast and began fretting poorly. Then my fingers got more calloused. I started watching Becoming John Malkovich, and I said, I bet that tunnel that leads to the inside of his head is probably gonna be a metaphor for a vaginal canal. Then Cameron Diaz's character Lottie said, the tunnel reminded her of a vagina. Then I went to empty the dishwasher. Mark rang the doorbell buzzer, and I emptied and refilled the dishwasher. We started talking about poetry. I mentioned David. We spoke about the waves. The spit in my mouth traveled to the direction of my nose and made it sting. I let out a yawn. Now I'm thinking of how I need to water my plants. In an interview I have at 3:30, I yawned again. Maybe I'm boring myself with my own life, like this patterned blues music, emptying and refilling the dishwasher, changing the sheets, talking and not talking to friends, watching a movie, writing, pausing the movie, eating cold pizza, cleaning the bathroom, watching pollen fly, land like yellow white snow onto the sidewalk, 4 birds at the windows now, white roofs, satellite dish, cloudless sky, another cloudless sky, furnace noise, changing the filter, new tablecloth, calling mom, calling dad, messaging Cassie, forgetting to message back everyone, going to therapy, feeling very lonely again, trying to feel better very slowly, avoiding guilt, eating anything whenever but not everything all the time, learning moderation, buying clothes, and then putting on a new dress, and then the feeling of wearing a new dress and going dancing. Thank you.